Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. One thing that I think is really important that we always circle back to every year is education. It's the core value that our children need to learn, and as adults, we need to make sure that we're always educating ourselves. Joining me today is a couple that have educated children for 150 years cumulatively. Denise Perrino, she was an educator at Fairfax Public Schools for 35 years. She's written curriculum, and she is currently a theater producer. Welcome back, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then her husband, Ralph Perrino, who is a professor. He's also an author. And jointly, for 25 years, they've owned Nova Tutoring. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Well, I have to be honest, the reason I had to bring you back was I had gone to your website and it said that you were retiring, closing the business. How did that happen?
We're closing the business. We're not retiring.
Oh, you're not
Yeah,
retiring?
I'm not sure we can spell that word.
I see. Good to hear. Denise, what's going on?
Well, one of the things that we thought about after 25 years, the education has changed quite a bit. And it seems that the model that we used, the in-home tutoring, was not necessarily something that the public really was interested in. Even though I think it's something that is needed more than ever because of the one-on-one that we offered and the kids needing to focus and work on conversation and communication. But it seems like it was a model that had served its time.
I couldn't disagree more. It hasn't served its time, has it, Ralph?
Denise taught theater for 34 years. I've taught sociology for 35 years. We know the value of interpersonal skills and interpersonal communication. And as adults, we know that's critical. Young people today don't seem to see that because of the digital age. So Denise is right. It's needed more now than ever. But we found in the last 5 or 6 or 7 years that the pull and tug of technology was so intense and so strong that the desire of parents and students to want that one-on-one in-home, kitchen table mentoring, coaching, tutoring that we think is the key to educational success had been reduced or diminished. There's still a percentage of people who still desire that, but that percentage is shrinking dramatically.
Well, with classroom sizes so big and so many distractions, we won't even get started on social media. One of the things that I remember learning from your book is that children need to be empowered to speak for themselves. They have to learn to advocate. And how do they do that in a classroom with a shy child? Or how do they admit to their friends that they're not doing as well as they think they should be, or maybe that their parents expect?
Well, can I take this? I think that there's one thing that it's important for the child to speak up, but it's also important for the parents to say, they see a problem, to say, we need to do something about this and let's take care of it. And too often I would hear sometimes parents would say, well, we're not really sure, so-and-so is not really sure if they really want to be tutored or not. And I would say, well, are they failing? Are they getting D's? Are they unhappy? And if the answer was yes, then I would say, well, it's kind of up to you and the child to do this,
Well,
you know,
you
to parent.
To parent and also recognize you got to know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Right? And if the grades and the report cards are telling you something and your child has anxiety, you got to make that executive call.
Yeah.
They need to take a theater class or a sociology class.
They need to get engaged.
Exactly. And that's how you do it.
And I do understand that it's the allure of dropping your child off somewhere and letting them do some drills there for a while and prepping them for the test. But the core social skills, the skills needed to succeed, are the things that are lacking. So just because we're not going to have the benefit of your wonderful business to mentor and educate and prepare students for the future, how are you going to stay plugged in and involved so that you can continue to impart your years and years of wisdom that everyone has found so valuable?
Well, we would love to come back and talk to you again. And we also, our website, even though it says that we are closed, the blog is still alive.
Okay.
And so that's something that we're going to continue to work with.
Something
So-
that people might want to
Yeah.
advertise on.
Yeah, exactly,
Exactly.
exactly.
And I plan on continuing to teach at the community college.
Okay.
And Denise does lots of work with young people in theaters in the area. So we still have
Yeah.
a connection to young adults and children, and we plan to continue doing that.
Well, in terms of guidance, I mean, right now, I just want to remind everyone about your great book, Issues and Strategies, Concerns in Education Today. I read this book. It's excellent. The new version is out, so now I have a second book. I appreciate that. You're going to do some writing, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, but you're also an avid reader. So could you just give us those two
Oh,
recommendations that you
Glad
showed
you
me?
asked. I'm reading 4 or 5 books at the same time, and 2 of them I brought with me tonight. One is titled Robot Proof, Higher Education in the Age of Artificial Intelligence.
Okay.
And it talks about the impact of artificial intelligence and robotics on higher education. And what's interesting about this book in particular is that the author is the president of Northeastern University, and he points out the fact that even though we have artificial intelligence and robotics looming in the horizon, the core skills that employers are looking for are still things like critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, written communication skills, oral communication skills, working in groups, working across cultural lines, all the soft skills that we as adults know are critical. The
Harder
second
to
book I'm
quantify.
reading is
Yes,
this
quickly
one
share
here,
that one with us as
Reclaiming
well.
Conversation, The Power of Talk in a Digital Age, written by Sherry Turkle.
The Power of Talk in a Digital
And
Age.
it talks a lot about what's going on with technology and how young people are being affected. And I read to you before we began this interview, there's a section in the book that talks about the fact that the average American adult checks their phones every 6.5 minutes. A quarter of American teenagers are connected to a device within 5 minutes of waking up. Most teenagers send 100 texts a day. 80% sleep with their phones. 44% do not unplug ever, even during a religious service. So
This is
we
a
could go on.
No,
great,
but this
two
is
great books I recommend.
So thank you for that. And this is a cautionary tale. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to have you back so that people understand that education is a personal experience, and we need to figure out how to make it personal for our kids. You're going to come back and see us?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
Well, this is Ralph Perrino and Denise Perrino, and they are my heroes in education. Look them up online. I'm Miriam Gennari. That's the Sustainable Scoop. Back to the news desk.